Imagine losing, like, everything. Your home, your savings, maybe your marriage. Where do you even start over?
Yeah, you'd think therapy, right? Or, I don't know, vision boards.
Right, but according to Ori Karim's comprehensive guide, Rebuilding Life to Inspire Others, you actually start with a manila folder, which is wild. So, okay, let's unpack this, because rebuilding your life isn't just, patching a leaky roof. It's a total tear down and architectural redesign.
Exactly. And welcome to our deep dive today, by the way. We are basically extracting Kareem's deliberate step-by-step strategy for taking these massive seismic life setbacks like severe financial collapse or homelessness and transforming them into a lasting legacy.
Right, because you can't design new architecture on sinking sand. Like, we really have to begin with physical stabilization.
Yeah, Kareem stresses that before mindset comes safety. You have to establish safety first, and that means securing shelter and, crucially, gathering essential paperwork.
Oh, right, like IDs, birth certificates, medical records.
Precisely. Which, it sounds incredibly boring during a crisis.
So, what does this all mean for you practically? Because gathering mundane paperwork during a trauma feels like, I don't know, remembering to grab your keys before fleeing a house fire.
Right. It's boring, but entirely life-saving.
Mm-hmm.
Because without an ID, you are basically a ghost to the system.
Oh, wow. Yeah. You can't rent an apartment. You can't get a job. You can't even open a bank account. You literally have to prove you exist before you can rebuild.
It's a huge bureaucratic barrier where, unfortunately, most people get trapped in a vicious cycle. Like, you need an address to get an ID, but you need an ID to get an address. Kareem forces you to break that cycle first.
So you secure that physical footprint, and then the psychological work actually has a safe place to land.
Exactly. And once that physical ground is secured, the rebuild moves inward.
Right, to the mind and the daily routines. Because when the immediate physical crisis ends and the adrenaline drops, the mental shock really sets in.
What's fascinating here is how he tackles that psychological vacuum with something he calls positive reframing.
Wait, what does that actually look like in practice?
Well, instead of letting your brain default to, I failed completely, you shift it to, I've learned what doesn't work. And he anchors this mindset shift with strict 30-day goals.
Oh, like establishing morning, midday, and evening routines.
Yeah, strict routines. Plus, starting your financial rebuilding by saving just like $5 to $10 a week.
Okay, I have to push back a little here.
Mm-hmm.
Is it actually realistic to expect someone in deep trauma to stick to a rigid schedule and track every single dollar? I mean, that sounds like a recipe for a panic attack.
It really does sound overwhelming. But if you look at the psychology, when life is totally chaotic, routine acts as an anchor against that chaos.
Oh, so it's not really about the $5 at all.
Exactly. It's about the locus of control. Saving a tiny bit of cash or waking up at the exact same time shows your traumatized nervous system that you still have agency.
That is brilliant. It's basically a neuroplasticity hack. You're building a micro habit of control, and I guess with that internal structure fortified, your rebuilt life can finally, open its doors to the outside world.
Yeah, that stabilization is what lets you step back out.
Here's where it gets really interesting. Kareem basically flips the societal narrative on its head. Recovering repeatedly from setbacks doesn't ruin your credibility, right?
Oh, not at all. He argues it becomes your superpower. Because you have stress-tested your own resilience.
You know exactly how to build a fireproof structure the next time around.
Right. And if we connect this to the bigger picture, the ultimate goal here isn't just your own basic survival. It's legacy building.
Right. Creating systems and sharing those hard-won lessons to help future generations.
Exactly. You stop being a victim of circumstance and become a leader by example. Your story shifts from a tragedy into a blueprint.
Which is so empowering for you listening today. Intentionality literally turns desperate reactions into purposeful power.
It really does. You're drawing the map for the people coming up behind you.
And that leaves you with this provocative thought to mull over. Kareem proves that your unique story has the power to build a legacy. So think about your current biggest challenge right now. If this struggle is actually the opening chapter of someone else's future survival guide, how does that change the way you tackle it tomorrow?